I'm not telling you I'm a rock star, but in my mind I'm like, I'm a rock star. I've always been confident, but I've never been someone who talks a lot of smack, has that sort of trash talk, you know, like you think about NBA players. I don't have that sort of style of game, or I'm probably not good enough to be talking that much smack, so I don't
The man happens to be a professional rugby player. He plays for the Super Rugby team, the Chiefs. The man was also named and part of the squad of the All Blacks 15 squad.
As a parent, you never want that for your child. It's always so far away in your mind until it happens directly in your home. You're like, holy, this is real. And that's sort of what had happened for us. Like, I was like, wow. Because I wanted to fit in, I want to be liked. I'm a people pleaser, I just want to be liked. So I'd go into environments and laugh at everyone's jokes. I wouldn't say much, I'd just be quiet and just chime in every now and then. If you want to be the best, you got to think you're the best. When it happened, I was like, oh my God, I got to be a man. I'm just a boy in a man's world right now, and I got to go and flip and grow up.
Do you think you guys are going to take out the title?
Mandate.
Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest is from the 04 Windy Wellington Hurricanes territory. The man happens to be a professional rugby player. He plays for the Super Rugby team, the Chiefs. The Chiefs has also represented New Zealand secondary schools as well. Also in 2019, the man represented New Zealand in the under-20s. 2019 to 2020, the man also played for the Wellington Lions. And in the 2021, also played for the Steamers, Bay of Plenty. But also in 2023, the man had a stellar season. He was one of the top five in terms of the competition, in terms of stats, in terms of the line-out steals in 2023. But also in 2023, the man was also named and part of the squad of the All Blacks 15 squad, who went out to tour in Japan for the Lipo Vitar D Challenge Cup. But the man is a big personality, great character, awesome father, but also has an awesome story to share. Please put your hands together for the man himself, Chiefs Mana Naitoa Ah
Intro. I can't believe you did that. Just off the head, yeah. I listened to it and I thought you were... Hey, it was impressive, my brother. It was impressive.
Hey, Uso, man, thank you so much for coming out. Uso, it just seems like it just happened, eh? Just not by chance.
Yeah.
Also, but thank you for coming out tonight. I know it's
happy.
The weather's not the best, but also thank you. But I don't know if you want to introduce yourself in terms of Samoa, Uso.
Talofalafa, lo ingo Naitoa Ah Kuoi. Sau mai lunu o vaiusu ale sa malokupa. Lo tama o Ken, sau mai lunu o vaiusu ma Mangiangi, ma lo tina o Francis, sau mai lunu o ale sa malokupa. E to'ololo lo whanau, lo atalii o Regan Kiriama ututo A Kuoi, ma lo Afafine? Daughter?
Yeah.
Afafine, sorry, this is me, I'm rattled. Afafine o Riley Jean, Talopatina, Taiopo, A Kuoi. Yeah. I'm youngest of five, so that's as much as my Samoan.
That's also
thank my Samoan teacher for.
That's awesome, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Maro love soifua. But otherwise also, I guess to start the ball rolling, because obviously people know you, Naitoa Ah Kuoi, as the Super Rugby play for the Chiefs, whether it's lock or whether you're in the loose forwards. Also, tell us a little bit, because you said you just start off straight off the bat, the youngest. And so tell us in terms of you being the youngest, but also as the youngest, being the sports, I guess, star, so to speak.
Oh, I mean, like in my family?
Family, but yeah, also your family. Just in terms of obviously you're the last, but you're the youngest. But
I don't know. Yeah, I think it just seems normal. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, like I always grew up wanting to play rugby, and for me, it wasn't really a goal. It was sort of, a dream. It was sort of just a goal, and I just had it just in my mind from the get-go, and yeah, I put all my eggs in one basket going into school, and I know a lot of people don't sort of promote that sort of way of thinking, but for me, I just had no other way in terms of what I wanted to do. So yeah, I think coming into this life, I'm extremely grateful. Don't get me wrong, extremely grateful for where I am now. But yeah, for me, that just seemed like a natural progression for life. So yeah, and my family, just my family, and they always, I think they're the same. They always thought that I was going to play rugby and just backed me. And now that I'm here, they're just like, yeah, cool.
Man, awesome. And I like what you said. You said, all your eggs in one basket also. And so for you, the big goal, obviously the All Blacks, the ABs.
Yeah, 100%.
And so you know what I like the most about, I read an article also, that you, without a shadow of a doubt, you just know, hey, this is my destiny. I'm going to make the ABs. And so tell us about that. Tell us about the drive, and tell us why the confidence. You're 100% confident in your abilities to be an All Black.
I don't know where it. I mean, I don't know where it came from. I think I've always had that way of thinking. I think I definitely I was seeing a relationship therapist a couple of years ago, and I think we just unearthed a lot of things, and at the root of it all was my ego, and I was like, far out. I was like, I always knew I had an ego, and was like, yeah, that's, but then when I sat back and thought about it, I was like, holy hecker, my ego has sort of just engulfed me and just taken control, and I had to keep it in check. But for me, growing up, having that confidence and having that ego was sort of like part of the reason I got to where I am today, because I just backed myself and I just believed myself and I just 100% wholeheartedly knew or just thought that I would be here. So I think for growing up, that's just the way I was. And I think in Wellington, there's a lot of people like me as well, in terms of we just ooze confidence, and especially playing against the Hurricanes, they have that aura of like big confidence, big energy, and leaving Wellington, I didn't know that wasn't normal until I was in like the Chiefs region, are just full of humble people, and not saying Wellingtonians aren't humble, but just the way that they are. And then you go and play the Hurricanes, you're like, oh my God, can you shut up? Like, oh my God. But then I'm like, holy hecker, that's what we are. That's what we like, That's just the way we are. And every time I go back to Wellington and play club rugby and I'm around that environment, I always end up having that sort of bravado again, because just the energy that's around us. So yeah, I think that's just the way I've been brought up, or just the energy that I had growing up and the energy around me. So I think, it's helped me a lot to get where I am. But then again, it's like I've had moments where I'm like, especially seeing a therapist about other things, and then her talking about it, I'm like, whoa, man, that's actually, I've got to keep that in check, really. Yeah,
it's cool, man. It's cool. I like how you say that, because I don't know. What are your thoughts? Maybe even for you as well, Jay, because everyone talks about ego, and people kind of think that ego kind of comes with a negative connotation in terms of it's quite negative. You're egotistic, quite arrogant. But I don't know. I believe there's a good part, and there's a positive part or positive side to ego.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Like, well, in my line of work, you have to have confidence in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then what are you even doing? Like, you have to back yourself, and that's your ego talking. For rugby, like, you have to have a part of you that has that. I think Wayno talked about his alter ego on stage. It's funny because when I play rugby, I sort of have like two sort of mindsets. One of them is Lord of the Rings. You guys know Lord of the Rings? Yeah. When the Mordor, the doors open and the army walks out. There's one movie where they created this badass dude, maybe in the first Lord of the Rings, and he killed, I can't remember now. Boromir.
Oh,
Who's that? Yeah. He killed Boromir far, and he was a ruthless dude. So in one of my mindsets, it's that guy. I'm coming into war. I'm an orc coming into battle. I'm just like a ruthless killer. And in another one, I'm a rock star, literally. And my craft, my rugby is me performing, me singing, me playing the guitar, and everyone that's in the crowd's coming to watch my concert. And that's my other, And you just have to have something, that sort of ego to, I don't know, back yourself, really. But it's weird, It's like, and when it talks about how he has alter ego when he gets on stage, and that's sort of my, like, alter ego. It's like I'm pretending to be Wayno at One Love. Well, like that's the way I see it. But you sort of have to have an aspect of that, when you're playing rugby, especially. I think it just translates to anything in life where if you want to be the best, you got to think you're the best, you know. And a lot of people, especially in New Zealand, there's a lot of tall poppy syndrome, and we're just humble people, you know. It's funny, like I see a lot of people, they love LeBron James, but then one year he goes, I'm the best player in the world, and everyone's like, whoa, like what the hell? But I'm like, hey, you know, like this is just the way that people are, and a lot of people in New Zealand don't really like it, I guess. Yeah. But I guess if you look, you know, deep down in yourself, everyone will have a little bit of an ego, and will have to have it, you know.
Yeah. Is that true? Well, because and I totally agree in terms of the alter ego, that you need to have that kind of ego when you're on the field. Obviously, you can't be a nice guy. Oh, I'm not going to tackle my brother. My buddy. Yeah. You're just going to go there because you want to win, because it's about winning. Obviously, the Super Rugby or any combat sport or physical sport, anything in life. In terms of the ego, has there been a time, has there been an instance when you've been playing or in your career thus far where you just felt like, oh, jeez, maybe I just gonna kind of cross that line a bit with somebody, or you just felt like, no, I always have it in check.
Yeah, I've always been confident, but I've never been someone who talks a lot of smack or like has that sort of trash talk. You know, like you think about NBA players, I don't have that sort of style of game, or I'm probably not good enough to be talking that much smack. So I don't, that's what, if I did start talking, that's probably when I'm like, hey mate, you need to chill out here. But nah, I've always been just in my own sort of world. Because I'm not telling you I'm a rock star, but in my mind I'm like, I'm a rock star, you know. So it's like, I'm just in this own flipping aura, or my own zone, really. Yeah,
It's cool, man. This is awesome.
It's interesting thinking about that double-edged sword, and I was curious about and this is, I guess, for both of you, like, you do need some confidence. You need confidence for sure. Ego is definitely like tethered to that. Where does the line go from like, you have a bit of an ego to being straight delusional? Like, where does that?
I think I think about like my working week. To have confidence, you need evidence. So on Saturday, for me to perform well, I need to make sure my training week is intact, and I've done everything that I've done to prepare, you know, for my game. So I think if you have the evidence that you are who you say you are, then I think you can, you know, express that. But I think it's a tough question, and a lot of people probably have different views, and a lot of people probably are delusional. And but I think if you have evidence of, you know, what you've been doing, then I guess you can have that sort of confidence, I guess. That makes sense, I guess.
Oh, that's cool. The other thing was just, and I think this applies to, like, I'm always curious about this in sports in general, but like if teams are both been preparing really hard, like they've both put in the work, like what's the 1% that would put one team over the other? If they're equally skilled, they've been trained equally as hard, like what would you say is that 1% that would put your team over another?
I think probably your drive, what drives you. But I guess, like in a rugby aspect, probably like the way you've prepared and what you've prepared. So for us, like for me, if I've, like, as a line-out caller, or, you know, if I've done the work and I've studied you, then I can come in. And if you haven't studied me, then you're going to come in raw and you're not seeing anything. But if we've done the work, we've prepared, and we've seen what they've done, then we can probably, you know, if that's, you know, if that makes sense. Because everyone can train as hard as whatever, you know, but if you're smart and you're diligent and you've done the preparation and you've, you know your enemy, then that's probably going to help.
It's cool.
I like that.
But it is evident also when you see you play. Obviously, I watch you play on obviously on the big screen, and it seems like it's in terms of obviously going back to ego and being delusional. There's no doubt about it. Also, you got goals, and you obviously you're kind of that's the ultimate goal for you to play for the ABs, represent New Zealand, Aotearoa. But also besides the rugby. Because your personality, you seem like a real chillax, real relaxed, but also a cool cat, really cool guy. And so, where does this come from? Where does this kind of? Because obviously we saw on on when you were interviewed, obviously in Australia.
Yeah.
And you have this personality. I don't know if that's part of the ego or the alter ego, but you come across real likable, but you got a big personality and people love you. I sense that, I have a great sense that people love you. Where does this personality come from? Where does this characteristic come from?
Oh, I'm just being normal, to me, I'm just having a conversation with another guy, and like, don't get me wrong, I love being in front of a camera and that sort of stuff. But I'm just being myself, and to me, I'm just having a conversation. And it's funny because I talk to a lot of my mates that know me from when I was young, and they'll be like, oh, or they know that they're friends with me. And they're like, oh, he just did this interview, it's so funny, and they're like, bro, he just needs to shut up, because they're just like, this is me normally, like that's just how I talk at home, and that's just how I am with my mates. So. Yeah, I'm not putting on a show or anything. Well, I probably am, but I'm not putting on a mask or a facade. And I think that's one thing that I'm happy about, is that things have happened and I've gotten a bit of recognition for the way I am, and it's not something made up, and it's not taxing for me to keep this up, because I'm just yarning, really, So yeah, that's just who I am as a person. It's just what I've been about, really.
It's cool. And it does show. Obviously, we were talking out at the back there. Man, this is who you are. And it comes across genuine. It comes across like this is who Naitoa Ah Kuoi is. And so with the fingernails, and the colours also, obviously reggae and so forth. And so, and obviously, I remember the story was about your daughter kind of say, "Hey, let's just that." And so you've taken that on board for, is it just a normal ritual now for?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to do it one time. And I had done my toenails once. Oh, flipping heaps, actually. I got a pedicure once. Holy, you guys had a pedicure?
No, never.
Life-changing. I don't know if anyone's probably listening saying, people are saying totally, but life-changing. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe the sensation of getting my feet cleaned. And because my feet... flipping, how you going? They're not the greatest. But then and then one time I just was like, this would be cool, and I always wanted to do that, and I was just like, why not? It didn't really. I thought no one had done it before, and it just seemed like something I've always wanted to do. I thought, why not be myself? And that's sort of like, I think like having kids. One thing I want for them to grow when they grow older is to look at their dad and say, man, he was himself in every environment. And I think for my rugby, I want my rugby to speak for itself, and I want them to be inspired by that. But the main thing I sort of want them to be inspired about is just me being myself. And little moments like that where I'm just like, hey, I'm going to do something that's, some people are going to be like, far out, what the heck? And I want to do it, and I want to be myself. And I know I'll get stick for it, but I just did it. And I want my kids to go, that's my dad. My dad did something that wasn't, normal, and he just did it because he wanted to, and he felt comfortable doing it. And it's now become a thing. A lot of people do it. A lot of rock stars do it. It's not that abnormal now, but one time I did it in Australia, and I was explaining that my daughter and my son had picked the colours, and it blew up. But a lot of people were like, this guy's gay, why are you so gay, blah, blah, blah. But it's so funny. It just cracks me up. And it was funny because a lot of people were backing me, and a lot of people were just sending me hate. I thought that was quite funny. But then I just thought, that's part and parcel of what you're doing. If you're going to do something like that, you just got to know within yourself who you are as a person, and know that that's just just people just yarning over a keyboard, really. Yeah. Man,
that's cool. And that's a really cool legacy to have in terms of how your kids remember you. And why is that so important for you, in terms of being yourself? Because I think, I'm just curious as to where that particular drive comes from. Is that, have you had experiences where you've done stuff where you're like, oh, or have you seen it in action?
I've gone into environments where I've gone into environments where I wasn't myself because I wanted to fit in. I want to be liked. I'm a people pleaser. I want, I don't want to, I just want to be liked. And so I'd go into environments and laugh at everyone's jokes. I won't say much. I'll just be quiet and just chime in every now and then. And then it was only until I played for Moana when we played the Māori All Blacks, and it was a team full of Samoans, Islanders, and I was thinking, this is cool. And it's also like, I'm just coming into this fresh environment. No one knows each other, and we're all just sort of coming into this thing for one time only, you know. And I'm like, I just want to just be myself. And I came in straight, came in hot. I just came in as myself. And honestly, it was like, I don't know the word. I just felt invigorated. Is that a word? You know what I mean? I just felt like, I just felt like a sense of like, oh my gosh, this is gangster. Because I'm just being accepted for who I am. And after that, like I came back to the Chiefs, and like in my first year, I loved it, but I was still just a little bit quiet because it's my first year. I didn't know anyone. And then the second year, after that, we played the Moana. And then the second year I came in, I was just like, man, who am I going to be? Like when I was coming into preseason, like, who am I going to be? Who am I going to, you know, like I just had this experience where I was myself, and I just loved it. Like, you know, and I just thought, let's just be me. And it just, you know, like I just feel freer. You just feel so free, and so like you're just not. It's not taxing to be yourself, and that's sort of the experience that I had. And yeah, I've always just now I'm just like just that moment for me of being like, oh my God, I can be myself and it's all good. It was like that feeling of that sort of feeling. I'm like, man, I just want that for everyone. Or I just want that every time now, you know, instead of going into an environment and being like, I don't know, like I just want to be quiet, I just want to be liked, and you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's sort of where it came from, eh? And then once I had my kids, I was like, I have to show them, you know, that you can be yourself and it's all good. Like, yeah, and it's free. You just feel free. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
I know. But why was that the case also in terms of being in the Moana camp? That you felt like, man, was it just being in the midst of the Poly brothers, or just,
I'm not sure. Yeah,
was it just something like you just felt like it was like I don't know, coming of age or something like that?
Yeah, I was nervous because like my Samoan's not the best, and I was like, I don't know what everyone's, you know, I don't know what everyone's energy is about, and I just thought I can't come in and fake this. I can't come in and like pretend I'm just this only brown guy that's just like what's up, you know, like blah blah blah. And I was just like, it just seemed so taxing for me to do that, especially in that environment. And I was like, these are my own people. Like I'm just like, surely I can just be myself. And it just like that was just the way it went. And yeah, again, it was just like, fuck. Sorry for swearing. It was just like, holy hecker, like this is the way it should be, and everyone should feel that way and just be okay with being themselves. But yeah,
it's cool, man. Because it seems like the journey with obviously Samoan being Samoan, and you fought Samoan, and it seems like have you been taking like all classes? Have you? Or?
Yeah. I try to, but it's like I think anyone that's going through, a lot of people have had that same thing, but it's like you have to be in it 24/7 for you to fully grasp it. But yeah, I've always, especially once I had my kids, like I would go into environments or like I'm with someone, they'll start speaking Samoan, and boom, I'm like this, oh my God, and I'm like, yep, Seki, and I'll walk off and like, you know, like, oh my gosh, and we'll go to like family functions, and I'm like, I'm so nervous, I'm so rattled, because I'm like, someone's gonna just start whipping off Samoan to me, and man, I hate that anxiety, like it breaks me out, and it sucks, and I don't want my kids to have that, and I want them to, you know who they are and know where they come from and be proud of it. So yeah, that's sort of my journey, I guess, through it. And a lot of guys, I think you have a lot of guys on who have similar journeys, and yeah, I've always known who I was and always known I was Samoan and stuff, but yeah, that the language barriers for me is like, that's the main hurdle that I sort of want to tick off in my life. Yeah,
it's cool. That's awesome. It's so funny. It was because when the first time I saw you, I was like, man, why is this Māori dude?
Yo, honestly, yeah.
So I thought, oh, then I saw the last name. Oh, bro, I think so.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I get once I got dreads, it was game over. Yeah. Once I got dreads, bro, kia ora, bro. I was like, kia ora, my bro, you know. But yeah, my kids are Māori, so I pretend I'm Māori sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm from Tonu. They're from Tonu, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I'm from Tonu. Yeah. Their mother hates it. I'm like, kia ora, my bro. You know? Yeah. It was so funny. Yeah, I get it a lot, especially once I got the dreads, it was game over. A lot of people would flipping just like, kia ora, bro. And they'll start speaking, I'm like, Kazi, I'm Samoan. And then they'll speak Samoan, I'm like, oh, jokes, I'm Hawaiian. Yeah.
Second generation.
Yeah.
Oh man. And how's that journey in terms of like just as a father, like having your kids are half Samoan, half Maori,
And Palangi as well.
and Palangi as well, and then like you're learning the language, and then also trying to help them how's that for you?
Hard. Yeah, it's hard because I always like I was saying, like you have to be immersed in, there's not many Samoan speakers at the Chiefs, and so everyone's sort of learning, so you have to be fully integrated, I guess, for you to sort of take on, like that's the way I see it anyway. But yeah, it's hard, I think. Yeah, it's hard. But the cool thing is my parents are still around, and my kids, they live in Wellington with their mum, and all my family are down there, so they have that sort of Samoan exposure, But for me, it's their Māori side because their mother's Māori, but her mum's Palangi, and her dad's Māori, but he lives in Auckland. And so I love that they have a lot of Samoan around them, but I don't want them to forget that they're Māori as well, And that's sort of the my challenge as well. Is like I want to make sure that they can have both cultures. And I always talk to Kayla, their mother, about it a lot about making sure that we're both clear on who we are and we can pass it down to them, But yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
And it must be. I assume it must be difficult to juggle, sport and being a father.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, we split the start of last year, and that was just through life. But being away it was hard. It is hard. Like they're 4 now. The gap from 3 to 4 in terms of like the learning. Oh my days! Like I go down when I see them, they're just like having full-on conversations. I'm like, oh wait, hang on a minute. Because you blink and they're just, they're just progressing. And I think that's that when we were together, it was hard in terms of like I needed my rest. I needed to make sure that I was prepared for the next day, and I would come home tired from the day, but she'd be just a stay-at-home mum, and she'd be waiting for someone to help, and I'll be coming in, and I'm like, I can't even function right now. But she's like, mate, I can't even bloody function. You think your thing is hard? You try to do this, and she's hasn't had any adult conversations in the day, and I'll come in and I'm tired, and we gotta, she wants to talk about things, but I'm like, that sort of thing. So at that period of time, it was hard, but it was also like I loved it, and like you say, it's hard, but man, there's plenty of things harder than playing rugby, and and I'm don't get me wrong, like it was difficult at times, but mate, you could be digging holes or something, or in my mind, it's there's always glass half empty, glass half full, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that also. Obviously with Kayla, your partner. Is it? I want to go back to you mentioned therapist. Yeah. So what was that? In terms of why did you go see a therapist, and was it around because of the relationship, or was it just?
It was sort of around there, and sort of just around. Like I just felt like I needed a lot. I needed to work on a lot of things personally. Like we became parents. I was 20 when we became parents. She was 24, and we had just left home. I had gone from living with my parents, and then when I left school, I moved in with her and her mum because there was stuff going on in my house. And so I just went from my mum looking after me to her and her mum looking after me, and I just never had that period of time of like, you need to be a man, you need to grow up, because I just was getting, I was just living in a hotel really. They were just so lovely, and that's just the way it was. And I got a contract at the Chiefs, and we moved up, and we knew nobody, and so we had to navigate through that sort of. I just sort of had to accelerate my learning in terms of adulthood, being 20 and having kids. And I think, that's sort of me not I guess having certain tools, I don't know, to being a good partner or a good father, or being able to juggle all that. Yeah, I felt like personally I needed a lot of work, and that's sort of like between me and her, that's sort of something that was I don't want to speak too much on that, but that's sort of what it came to. And a lot of times when I talked to the therapist, it ended up being like, man, you a lot of the things you do is for your ego. And I was like, really? Like, surely, because I've always known like I've had an ego like that. The confidence is what got me to where I am today. But I always thought I had it in check. And then when she broke it down, I just still remember when we finished, I came and sat in the car, and I was just like sort of thinking back to my life, and I was like, oh my days, I am playing up. I was like, holy heck, man, I'm at the gate. I need to be in check. And it was like just so like confronting, because I was like, fuck. Because I always thought I had an ego, but then it was only until I took a step back and realized, oh my God, I've got an ego, like a capital E with the go, and that was it was very helpful for me to have that. But she's the GOAT. Like, she's Kayla. She's the GOAT, man. She's one of the best mother I've ever seen in my life, in terms of the way she is and the way she's looking after our kids. And we both know that the relationship we have directly affects our kids, and so we're on really good terms. And we talk every day, because I'm talking to the kids, and I just talk to her, and we still catch up and that sort of stuff. And she's the GOAT. I've got nothing bad to say about her. Probably never will. And she's I just call her the GOAT all the time. She's the GOAT. And that's just, man, I've never seen a woman like that. And that's just it's hard to speak on it, because I left that part of me, and I left someone so strong. But it's because, man, I needed to work on myself, and I can't put her in situations where I'm hurting her and that sort of thing. If that makes sense. I don't really without airing my dirty laundry too. That sort of
Man, it's really cool. Like, it's never an easy thing to admit to yourself that it's like, oh man, that's my bad, or like, I have an ego, or things like that. And it can be really uncomfortable, even with the therapist, when they're not diagnosing, but they're noticing things and throwing stuff up like a mirror almost, and being like,
100,
And the first time you see it or hear it, and you're just like, I don't think that's me. You just feel.
I was like, shut up, man. And then it was when I was sat back, and I was like, oh frick, like, man, But it was it's what I needed,
And really cool to hear about like just the co-parenting relationship, because I think we've only had a couple of guests talk on co-parenting, and I imagine it has its own unique challenges, but it sounds like you and Kayla have some sort of balance and understanding where the kids, kids are at the heart of it, and you guys have that mutual understanding. Yeah,
for sure. Like I said, like what we always talked about, the relationship we have is directly affects our kids, and I think talking to a lot of people out, like when my whole vision of it is, I didn't want a broken home. I didn't want my kids to grow up with, I got to be with my dad, or now my mum's picking me up. I didn't want that. But then I realized a broken home, if I was ultimately unhappy, that's creating a broken home, and I don't want my kids to see that and think that that's the way you need to live life, just being unhappy and these sorts of things. So, and that for her, like, I didn't think she had to bring me, she had to say, like, you can see the kids, or, that sort of thing. But she said, like, the kids love you, and I know that the kids need you. And I understand that that's the way they look at you and that sort of stuff. And so we all need to be together in terms of, like, our relationship with each other. It all has to be kosher, because, like, that's what our kids need, And I think we had to, if there was a period of time, we probably had to set things aside and just be kosher about, and nothing's really been bad. It's just been a lot of hurt, I guess, in periods of time. But now it's it's no dramas, and like I said, she's the bloody GOAT.
Interesting, and you mentioned something there just about hurt, and I'm only asking this because I'm going through my own sort of healing journey and therapy and all that sort of stuff. But when you think about hurt, like, man, where was I going with this? It was about hurt and healing, and like how do you deal with the hurt in terms of like healing where you can, but also being okay not healing, because there is some hurt where it's like you kind of just have to hold on to it until it releases itself.
Yeah. I don't know. What was the question?
And maybe Pete, this could be curious to hear your opinion too in terms of like holding on to hurt when you've gone through something, and it's especially difficult when it's like someone that you respect and cherish so much, and hearing the truth from them can be really hard. So how do you go about finding healing for yourself? And also just accepting that some of this hurt is just, it's there for good, and, you know, not to let it affect you too much.
Where again, Naitoa?
I don't know.
Where again, Mills?
I don't know if
that's deep, man.
That's deep. I don't think I've had too many things that have hurt that bad for me to just sort of hold on to. Yeah. I don't know. What have you got?
I don't know. I was just, I think for me, and it's sort of this whole thing with closure for me. Like I've always been one of those like, take a punch to give a punch kind of thing, where it's like justice, like the scales have to be measured, and so it really bugs me when something happens and I can't get any give back, and so. Yeah, I think for me, there's some things that actually are better left unsaid. I know, like, it's all the rage these days to like talk about everything, and just, you know, the more you'll talk about it and then get it out in the open, and then you can share the burden with other people and you'll heal that way. But I think I've just come to realize for myself that sometimes there is some hurt that it's like
that's just on you.
You just leave it inside, and you learn to live with it. Like, not every bit of hurt that you experience in your life can be dealt with by talking about it and having a go at the person who hurt you and getting justice that way. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it does, man. Also, so, and that's a great question, also. And so, with you, Naitoa, obviously, with the therapist. And talking about the ego, you go back into the car like, oh man, what the heck? No, it's got nothing to do with ego. Yeah. And you hearing that for the first time, and then realizing for yourself, like, what the heck? And so, in your mind, how did you feel? Did you feel like, oh, what a dick?
I was just in shock, because like I said, I always knew I had it. I just didn't know it had like engulfed me, and it had taken my day to day. Because to me, I always thought between the 4 white lines, that's when I'm at my egotistical, in terms of, that's because I'm playing rugby, and that's what and I always said, that's just where I am, and then when I leave, I'm just myself. And then I realized it was creeping out of the field and coming into my everyday life, and I was like, that's when I was like, fuck. It was just like surreal, and just like I said, real confronting. And she said, just make note of when you do things, of whether it's for you or for your ego. And then like that, like ever since then, I'll do things and I'll go, like, especially when it first happened, I would do things and I'll sit back and go, oh my God. Because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm doing, something for myself, but I'm like, oh, that's my ego. Like, that's for my ego. And I was like, far out. And it ended up being a lot of things that I was like, man, I'm just feeding my ego, like stroking my ego. And I was like, fuck. It's just, it's not healthy, I guess,
Oh, that's cool,
It's
man.
crazy,
That's cool. I think it's obviously what Jay was saying, in terms of sometimes these things are quite hard for us to kind of take on board. Like, what the heck? How do you kind of say this kind of, say these things to me? And it's kind of like you get exposed there. You get exposed. Shit, I don't like the truth. Sometimes the truth can be like, it can be detrimental. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear this about myself. And so, obviously you and Kayla, you kind of part ways, but you're still co-parenting. And so also, what's been the biggest learning? Because you said I need to grow up. I need to kind of be a man and find out who I am. So what's been some of the learnings that you have found out or figured out about yourself?
It's probably just being independent. Like I said, I went from my parents looking after me, till her looking after me, and then it was just like that until we separated. And when we separated, I realized, holy, I got to do things for myself. Like I got to little things like day-to-day things. Because when we were together, she did everything, and she just said, "You work because you're working for us. You go and do your thing. I'll take care of everything else. So you've got nothing to worry about." And that was just, like I said, that's the goat, like, and I'll come home and everything's in the routine because that's how we had our kids. And she made sure everything was sweet so that I could go to work with, freedom and to not have anything to worry about, And so when she left, I had to flip and do all of that myself in terms of like, I had to come home and, bro, little things like come home and do the washing, come home and cook dinner, come home and, make sure all of my things are sorted. And like when I would travel back to Wellington, I used to have, people like she'd book me a flight or she'd, and now I have to do all these little grown up things that you should know, like, but I had someone just taking care of me the whole time that I didn't even know. And now I'm like, yeah. When it happened, I was like, oh my God, I gotta be a man. I'm just a boy in a man's world right now, and I gotta go and flip and grow up. But yeah, having that sort of independence is probably one of the main things. Yeah,
that's cool. So how do you feel now? Like it's like, oh man, yeah.
I still flipping. Yeah, still sometimes I'll call her and be like, can you how do I pay these bills? Do I send it to this thing, or can you help me with this? So yeah, I still have moments where I'm like that, but I definitely feel more of a man. I don't know. Yeah, more independent. I guess more independent. Yeah. Mm.
So obviously you were the baby of the family, and I know mums are
literally. Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. I was about and I do my siblings might not like it, but yeah, I was a golden child. And my parents just looked after me, and like I think even to that time, like speaking of my parents, like we didn't have much. But like I was saying, I played water polo growing up. Both me and my brother played water polo. It's an expensive sport, and like I traveled to Hawaii and played water polo, and like none of that. It's not like rugby where it's the NZR pays for it. Like, they gave me everything, and they let me experience everything. And I look back at it now, I'm like, how did they even pay for all these things? They're lawyers. And they worked hard, They worked very hard to have that. And yeah, growing up, like we didn't have much, but we had enough. I always say that, like I didn't have everything, but I had everything I needed. And like I was able to go to all the trips away that would have cost like cost a lot of money, just because they just gave everything for me. And that just stems to me being just a child in a man's world, because my parents, looked after me and loved me and gave me all the tools that I needed for me to succeed in terms of like me becoming a rugby player. And then I had Kayla as well, and her mum and stuff, and they did the same thing. So yeah, I'm just a mummy's boy, really. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do your older siblings be like, bro, this guy?
Nah. They're proud. Yeah.
That's cool.
I think they're the same. Like I expressed to them what I want, where I wanted to be when I was older, when I was younger, and so they're just proud. They're always looking. They're all doing good things themselves, I guess. But yeah, they're pretty stoked about it, I guess. Yeah, they get tickets to games. They get to meet some big names. So they're all pretty. They don't mind it too much, So yeah, they're all good. Yeah.
Oh man, this is awesome. Also, and I was just thinking in terms of obviously your family and obviously your dad, because dad's quite instrumental. Obviously, mom, but dad seems like a real character. Your dad, obviously, your dad was a sportsman as well. He hard out rugby.
Yeah, well, he thinks he is. Yeah. He still thinks he's faster than me, which I think he stopped being faster than me when I was like 14. But yeah, he's a big name in Wellington in terms of the community. He's more famous than I am when I go down there. They was, hey, how's your dad? And I'm like, I'm good. Oh, he's all good too. Or like, where's your dad? I always get that a lot. But it only, as I became older, I realized how inspirational he was. Because when I was younger, I didn't know much. Like, I knew everything because he would tell me everything, but I didn't see how big it was. Like, he came from Samoa to New Zealand. Went to Porirua College, and did a year there, and then left, and then finished his schooling, and then became a teacher. He was a teacher for 6 years at Purua College, and then became like an officer where he'd go around schools, and I don't know that and then when I was born, me and my brother were born, he stopped and studied law. So he when I grew up, he was studying law. He was at law school. My mum was at law school as well, and so he's like I don't know. He's got like a science degree, a teaching degree, and he's got a law degree. Damn. And growing up, I didn't know anything about it in terms of like the magnitude of someone coming from Samoa and then doing all these things. But to me, it was just like, that's my dad, like, and and as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate, like, holy hecka, like, that's crazy, like, that's crazy, like him having 2 kids and then leaving, to become a lawyer, like dropping that and just studying. And we worked in the holidays, we'd go to clean people's houses, or like, I don't know, like he'd do heaps of side jobs, or like do the census. Yeah. We'll go around do the census, and we'll go around clean people's backyards for money. And that would, like, as you're growing up, all of that stuff's just normal. But when I look back at it as an adult now, I'm like, God, flipping heck, like, what the hell? How come you did those sorts of things, And yeah, that's just the way, and that sort of hard work, he sort of instilled that in me. And again, I think I was young and had my ego. I was just like, yes, you got to work hard. Like, I know you got to work hard. Like, blah, blah, blah. And as I've gotten older, I realized, man, he flipping, worked bloody hard. Now he owns like a little law firm called Ah Kuoi Law in Wellington. Him and my mum, and like and it's just like, I look at that, I'm like, whoa, jeez, crazy to me. It's crazy to me,
100% also, man. Oh gosh, when you said your parents were lawyers, like, well, lawyers.
Yeah.
So then you said your dad was a teacher, and then now he studied law. So how many in the family? How many siblings? Was
I'm the youngest of 5. I got me and my brother, that's my dad's kids, and then we got a half brother and 2 half sisters on my mum's side. But we're just family, it's quite normal, and everyone's, well, it's quite normal for everyone, having half siblings. But yeah, I'm the youngest of 5.
Jeez, so you did. Oh man, I'm just a.
That's
I didn't even know, man. Your dad's the man.
Amazing.
Literally, yeah, and you just don't think of it, because I was like, I don't know. You go to university, like everyone goes to university, I'm like, the bro did law, like, what the hell? Yeah, and sometimes he barely speaks English. Like, I'm like, so funny. Oh, it was so funny.
Oh,
it was so funny because we would we'd go to like school holidays or something. I'd go watch him in court. Your Honour, if it pleases me, I'm like, the hell? And he'd come in and like fob out, or like he'll come in and have not broken English, but he would say things. I'm like, bro, it's not how you say it. But then he'll go into these environments, and I'm like, fuck, yeah. But another thing that I learned from him is networking. The way he networks, he's got no fear. Like, he will go and talk to anyone, like anyone who's no matter who they are. He'll just go and like whip off jokes, and like, I'm like, fuck, that takes. And like growing up, I just thought, oh, that's cool. But like, that skill was so difficult to master, and now that I've gone into rugby, like, there's so many people that can help us. You just have to network and, have the courage to go and talk. And it can be difficult at times because some people are, who they are, and then, that they're higher up, or, and you're just like, I don't know, how do I, But then I think back to my dad, like, and as a rugby player, a lot of people want to help us, because we are rugby players. We have, I don't know, we have the, you know what I mean? Like, we are people, I wouldn't say famous, we're not famous, but you know what I mean? But like, my dad's not famous, he's just a guy. But he'll go up to anyone and just be like, hey, can you help out our Valley golf tournament? We've got our Valley golf tournament, can you come in, we need to donate, blah, blah, blah. Or like, Maricel Pats is having this thing, can you come in? He will just go anywhere. I'm like, how? Yeah, no fear. It's nuts, eh?
Honestly. This is probably you get it from, man.
I think so. Yeah.
The gambling.
I think so too. Yeah. He's pretty funny, and he whips off jokes. I think that's As much as I was like, I always sit back and like he'll do stuff, and I'm like, actually pretty funny, bro. But sometimes I'm like, not even that funny, But yeah, I think that's where I got it from. The way he's got the gift of the gab as well, and just, yeah.
He sounds, he sounds like a real character, a real personality. Your dad, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Avili, did you say Avili?
He went to Avili,
Avili College.
Bro, Avili College, flipping, he's Avili to the Oti, man. We had, we're painting our house, our, what do I call it? Childhood house. We repainted the kitchen. It's got Avili colours all over it. Just like, what the hell, man? Yeah, so he's a massive Avili, I don't know, old boy fanatic, I guess, yeah.
What does it say to you? Like, obviously, for even the viewers and listeners and our young men or Pacifica or Māori, like your dad comes from Samoa, finished high school, and becomes a teacher, and get a science degree, becomes a lawyer. What does it tell you for us as men, young men?
Man, anyone can do it, literally, and I think for me, I had a lot of self drive, you know, and I just backed myself, and I believed in myself, and I think I got it from my dad, but I didn't, you know, at the time I didn't think about it, but now I'm like, anyone can do it. You can do it. Like, if my dad, like I grew up in how genetically, you know, I have talent that was passed on to me, and I'm tall and stuff, and I have had these abilities, and that got me so far, and I worked for it. But some guys have nothing, and they've become something. And I think back to my dad came. I don't know. I just can't fathom it either. He came from Samoa to New Zealand, and lived in Porirua, and just became a teacher, studied, worked hard for it, and then became a lawyer. Like, you know, my mum's a lawyer as well. And I don't want to discredit my mother. She's an awesome person as well. And but yeah, I just think to my dad, I'm like, fuck. And my dad, he was running for council, I think last year, running for council in Wellington. Yeah, that was crazy. He didn't get it, but he did his I don't know, what do you call it? He ran for council, and people came and, I don't even know what you call that. And people came and spoke. A lot of people came and spoke about him, and I was just like, far out. Like, yeah, man, he is the man. He is influential, and like, we went back to the house, and they were all drinking. I remember speaking, and it was the first time I probably said that I was proud of him. And I just remember saying, like, what I'm saying now in terms of like, I can't believe you've done this. Like, I can't believe you've started from nothing, and you've built yourself, and you have a community that backs you. And it's just, yeah, I think that's probably the first time I told him that he inspires me. But yeah, it's crazy to me. I still think about it now. I'm like, anyone can do it. Like, you know, I think I always think some people come here to live, in terms of like when you're becoming an adult. Some people come to live, and some people just come to survive. You know, like, they just want to work 9 to 5 and get to the weekend and so on and so forth, and time will just pass. But some people, they just want to live. You know, they want you know, to have a good life. And I think that's sort of what separates some people from others, in terms of, you know, like wanting to become a lawyer and wanting to do all these things. It's just the drive for it, I guess, you know. Yeah.
Man, props to your mum and dad. Props to your mum and dad.
Yeah.
I like what you said. I think it's very interesting. I think people need to listen to or hear what you just said. Some people come to, you know, from different countries or foreign countries, come here to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and probably like, oh, okay, I just wanna live, or I just want to survive.
Yeah.
And just hope for the best. And but that sounds like your dad. He didn't want to come to survive. He wanted to come to thrive. And so, man, and it just seems like you have it. Obviously, it's in your DNA. Yeah. You know, and like you said, and it may not be in a different field. You're rugby.
Yeah.
And so and I can tell you got that. You got that the same thing like your dad. You're obviously the same drive, very highly motivated. And I can, without a shadow of a doubt, also, I can guarantee you, man, you will be in the ABs. And I'm not just saying it for the sake of saying it, because just meeting you and kind of hearing your story thus far, but also the drive. I can sense the energy. You know, you have the energy when someone's got like that drive. I want to do it. And you mentioned early on that you did water polo. Yeah, it's an expensive sport. Like, how did mum and dad manage to do all of this and that? What do you think? What is it? Is it because when a parent sees a child's gifting, or they want to thrive, They just go 100%. This is my son's gift. I know this is where he's going to end up. I'm going to push it. What do you think about as to why parents, so to speak, kind of push their kids and believe 100% in terms of their goals or dreams?
I'm not sure. I think they just loved me. But I think if I look back at it now, like you're saying, like I was good at sport, and I think they probably saw that I had passion for it, and they allowed me to pursue it. But yeah, like I said, like I had all these trips, and they just, at the time I was thinking, just pay for it, like I don't know, just go and pay for it.
Just pay for
just pay for it. It's like $7,000 for a trip. I'm like, just pay for it.
What the heck?
Well, these in my mind, because I had no sense of financial whatever, and I had a lot of like I was saying, it's a predominantly white sport, and you just, the kids that are playing are very wealthy, and so I'm like, oh, they're going, like, just pay for it, and I didn't fathom how expensive and what it actually took for me to even go to these trips. But yeah, I think they just, you're a parent, you got both parents, and I think, you always want the best for your kids. And I always want my kids to have every opportunity, and I want to be able to have, be financially stable enough to give them opportunity. And I think maybe for them that's the same. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I think they just loved me, and maybe they just, they wanted me to be rich so that they can, get some money too, get a loan out. Yeah, my mum always jokes about that. She's like, you got all those ships, you got to pay me back for it. I'm like, hey, I thought it was love. She's like, no. Yeah.
Return on investment.
Yeah. That's what you say. You're invested in me. I'm like, okay, is that how it works? But yeah.
Oh man, it's interesting also because, amazing. Your parents and obviously yourself. In terms of going back to the sports and rugby. I don't know. Maybe I kind of throw it out there, the question, and the question is, when? Obviously, you can do, obviously achieve it, but when do you see yourself like, man, I'm gonna put on the black jerseys?
It's getting harder and harder, I guess. I always said that I'll give myself till I was 26, and if I got to 26, like from here till I was 26, I'm just thinking with my heart, like I want to be an All Black. But after 26, if I'm not an All Black, then I'll think with my brain and go, hey, let's go get some money, So that's always been my thought process. So if I ain't got much time left, I'm 24 now, a couple more years. So I don't know when. I just gotta, you can only control what you control. I don't pick the team. I just have the ability to put my name in the hat, or that sort of thing. So for me, it's the process of what am I doing every day? What am I doing every week to give myself the best opportunity to put my name, in the hat. So, yeah, I don't have an answer for you, but I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I'm saying, hey, man, I want this dream, and I'm working for it,
Just you saying that, that speaks volumes, because, you're 26.
Yeah, getting there, yeah. Well, you can only control what you can control, If you can't control it, if it's uncontrollable, then don't worry about it, I can't control what the head coach is thinking about me in terms of, like, whatever. I can just control what I'm doing, and what I'm doing every day is it going towards my goal, or is it not going towards my goal? And I think if you just get lost in the process, then things will take care of itself, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I gave myself till I was 26, and when I'm 26, I'm not an All Black, but I did everything I can to possibly put my name in, and it didn't work out. Then hey, I gave him my best shot, and that's all you can do. So yeah. Just control what you can control, and that's what you got to worry about, I guess.
Well said.
And in your pursuit to become an All Black, has anything surprised you? Like, you played rugby for a long time, so you kind of understood in terms of like some of the work ethic that's needed and the preparation. But has anything been surprising in terms of in this pursuit? There's some things like the closer you get, there are just some things that you're like, I hadn't considered that before. Or
not really. I think there's just a lot of learnings. Like 2020, I had my kids, and but before then, I didn't have like a sense of professionalism, so I didn't quite understand. So didn't quite understand like the nutritional side of things. I thought I knew, but I was still we do skin folds up, and it just literally pinch your fat, and you get a scale of how much fat you got really. And my skin folds were always quite high, but I worked really hard, but I just wasn't really getting the shifts. And then I had COVID, and we had kids, and man, I just stopped training. I just fully stopped training, and we just ate, and I was just a parent like. And then I can't remember when, but when the takeaways were back in, so we were feeding every 3 hours, and we'd go to bed, and we'd wake up at 9, and we'd be like, should we just try Macca's? And every day we would just go different fast foods, and I blew out so much. I put on so much weight, and they said at level 2, I remember calling the manager when I was in Wellington. I was like, oh, at level 2, are we going to go back to rugby? And they're like, no, it'll be the same. So I was like, I got time. And then I still remember Jacinda walking out. I still remember the sound it makes. It was like, doo, 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 doo. This is a COVID announcement. But every time I hear it, I get like anxiety, because when it came out, doo, 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 and she said, level 2, rugby is going to be back, blah, blah, blah. My heart sank to my fat stomach. I was like, holy hecker. And I just was like in shock. And I went back to training, and I remember like going to get my skin folds. I took my shirt off, and then the trainer was like, what the hell? And I was like, before I got in there, I was like, I hadn't been training much. And they're like, oh, that's all good. And I got in there, and they're like, what the F? And I was like, I told you I hadn't been training, but like, bro, this is way off. And they were like pinching, like doing my skin folds, and they were calling out numbers. And the numbers were so high, like people would like looking back, like actuals. And then another guy was like, it happened. And one of the other trainers came, was like, nah, that's not right. Like, let me have a check. Like, let me have a turn. And he got it, and he was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yeah, that's what happened. And I just had to start again in terms of like my body composition, and like those learnings, I quickly learned about professionalism and the nutrition side and the working side, all those things, and like how to structure my off season to make sure that I don't fluctuate in terms of my body composition. How can I come into preseason fit? And those are the learnings that I've taken from rugby that I didn't know much about. I'm going in. But yeah, I was a big boy. Yeah.
So how much do you gain?
Oh man, I was about going in. I was about 115 skin folds, 115 kilos, and my skin folds were at about 100. So like, your skin folds are supposed to be under, like, so my skin folds now are 74 or something. But at the time they were 100, which was at point in time was quite lean for me. If it's like a 1-to-1 ratio with your weight and your skin folds, then you're sort of like okay. But I was about 100 skin folds and 115 kilos, and then when I came back from lockdown, I was about 122 kilo and 168 skin folds, which is like outrageous. 168 is like, yeah, it's not a good number, Yeah, I was big, bro. I was big. Yeah, and I remember like the first like my Bronco. We do Broncos, and leaving it, I had about a 5:05 Bronco, and then when I came back around a 5:48, like I put, I don't know however many seconds on, and it was just like horrendous. It was so bad, because yeah, I was just, once it happened, I was like, once we had the kids, I was like, man, rugby's not even. This rugby's just rugby. Like I'm a dad. Like this is my job right now, and I just sort of like let go of rugby for the period of time, and then because I thought I had heaps of time to train, and then yeah, it just was a shock. But yeah, I got pretty big. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Because why is that? Because I always often wonder, Naitoa, because obviously in terms of our poly and Māori athletes, they always go there and obviously, and you kind of obviously off season. All of a sudden, and I know we love our food. We love our food and all that kind of stuff. And then it's, obviously, because you said professional, and it's obviously rugby's professional. It's been professional for some time now. And so, what tends to happen? What do you think should happen to combat that kind of mindset? Yeah. Like, no, I can't. It's just off season. I need to maintain that kind of.
It sucks. It does suck that it's always brown guys that come in unfit. It's shifted now in the Chiefs environment. Like, it's very like when I first came in, there was always about like my first year, there was about 15 of us that were overweight and then unfit or whatever. And the second year there was about 10, but now it's like no one. no one's unfit. It's like rare for you to come in unfit, and it's just the culture that we have in the Chiefs and like the environment we have. We just breed excellence, and we just want excellence. And like the way our off season is structured now, with Donk, our coach, we have less training time as a team, and he just says you have more freedom now, but you just have to make sure when you come in Jan 7th or whatever when it is that you've done the work, and we're trusting you as professional rugby players and as men who have a job to have this time off, but also work. And so in our environment, like it's very rare for someone to come in unfit. But your off season, man, because the year is so stressful in terms of the rugby, and it's 24/7, and every week by week there's new challenges and stuff, and then when the season's over, you just want to break. Like you just want to get, And for me, like when I leave the Bay of Plenty, which is the last comp, and then I come into my off season, every time I go back to my own team, I'm like, Mum, can I have luau, galo, ulupua'a? These are because these are my soul food, like. And I know all of that is playing up, like in terms of like, calories and whatever. But yeah, I think a lot of guys are the same. They're just like, I want to come back and I just want to relax. And for me, relaxing is, chilling out, but also having these sorts of foods. I think you can get stuck in relaxing too much, especially like they always say you have a week off like before you start training again. And it's always hard after your week off to get back into it, So for me, I can't have time off because I know if my time is off, then I'm way off. I'll come in way off because my time, it'll be so hard for me to just like let go of that because it's just your comfort, So I think for, a lot of people, it's definitely the off season for a lot of us poly guys when you're away from work, how you structure and it sucks that we have a stigma that, we come in unfit, but it happens. Yeah.
Just good on you, and good on you. I'm glad that you said that a lot of the poly boys and Māori boys are coming in fit now.
Man. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. It's very like I was saying, it's very rare for people to come in unfit, just because it's contagious, like working hard, and you get to like you get to Jan 7th, you're like, I know I don't want to be the only guy that hasn't worked. That's sort of how it goes. So it's just the way our culture is now at the Chiefs, and the way that Donks created, that sort of environment for us. And it's just like, if you want to win, you'll do what it takes to win, and that's just bottom line, and that's just the way our environment is. We come into work and we want to win. Like, we're not a team that is here to take part. We're a team that wants to succeed, and that's what we base our sort of success on is getting to the top, and we haven't reached that yet, So everyone sort of is on board with that sort of idea.
Man, interesting. Just thinking about the mindset. Just thinking about the difference of mindset in terms of like, if you're motivated by one of two things, like by winning versus by doing your best. Like, it sounds like there's a difference between going in and being like, we're going to win, versus going in there and like, let's do our best.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I think I don't think I've been in an environment where it's like, we're just, we're just here to have fun. Or, we just, every environment I've been in, or everywhere I've been, it's just been like, I came to win. Like, I'm not here to just let the year ride. I'm here I've got a goal, and that's sort of, that's just the way we are. Well, especially now in Chiefs environment, but the way I've been brought up, I guess, in the environments that I've been a part of, it's like, winning. That's what it's about,
So what's it like in terms of like the bounce back when you give everything that you have, you're prepared really well, and you still come up short? Like, what's it like in terms of dealing with having to take the L? And what are some of the lessons that you can only learn through taking a loss?
Man. Yeah. I've lost two finals. Yeah, we lost last year. Yeah. That one was like a bloody movie, Our year was just so like, the stars had just aligned. Like, we had done so well, and Crusaders, like, they know how to win, especially in playoffs. Like, they just go to a different level. And the learnings, I guess, I think I don't know. It was hard. Not hard. Oh, it was hard, obviously, but it was just like, what the heck just happened? Especially when it initially happened. Like, I didn't settle in for like a couple of days because we played and we had lost, and then we just usually have like a end of year function where we, let our head down in terms of things. But it was only until I probably got back to Wellington, and I was just sitting there like, oh my God, we freaking lost. Like, what the heck? But I guess, I think the learnings is for, especially in those moments, is finals footy is a different dog. Like, it's a completely different thing. And those moments are massive. And you only have, there's the game of rugby is about, like, some aspects of it is about winning moments and stacking good moments. And that's sort of what my learning is when you lose, is like, what did you do in these moments? How were we in these moments? And in a final, the stakes are a lot higher, and the moments are a lot more significant. So, I think you can take a lot of learnings, from a loss in terms of moments and how you deal with them, I guess. Yeah.
And is there ever any sort of struggle in terms of dealing with regret, like looking back and being like, man? And have you noticed that in terms of, like, even with your teammates, perhaps, if not with yourself, like in terms of dealing with regrets, or is that something that people try? I mean, people try to avoid, but I imagine it's not always that easy to avoid.
Yeah, I think like I was saying, if you have put your work in during the week and you play, then you'll have no regrets. Or there will be regrets, but you'll know that you've put in the work. I think your regrets will come if you didn't prepare and you lost. Then you look back and go, that's what you regret. You regret coming in like half-assed, coming into a final and not preparing that at the most, or not giving everything you can to give yourself the best shot. But yeah, I don't know if regret's probably nothing we don't really talk about it much, eh? But yeah, there's definitely heaps of, like, I think back to the final, like, there's moments where I'm like, damn, like I did something and something else happened. I was like, far out. But you can't regret them, that's life, eh? Yeah, I think if you sit back and go, damn, all the time, you're just going to be living in the past, So, yeah, I don't think we talk about regret much.
And just to go off on that tangent of, like, not talking about regret much, are there things that you're like, oh, we should talk about this? Like, it might be uncomfortable conversations, but just in general, as professional rugby players, do you think there are conversations that need to be had that aren't being had?
I think the way the world's going, it's becoming more, acceptable to speak, I guess. And you're saying there's other things, like, you don't speak well or whatever. But I think, it's probably, your question was, something things we should be talking about?
Yeah, are there conversations that need to be had? That
not off the top of my head. I think courageous conversations about you as a person, like how you're doing as a person, checking in. I think a lot of people do it, but maybe you could do a lot more of it. Not to say that we have an environment where everyone's just shut off, but I think that's probably healthy in any environment. Yeah, but
cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a good question.
It's good. It's not one of those ones that you blame someone. It's your fault we lost.
Yeah. No, we don't. Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah. I'm glad we don't have that. I'm definitely glad we don't have that. Yeah.
Oh man. Also, you mentioned culture. Obviously, you talk about the Crusaders, and Crusaders have this immaculate culture in terms of always winning games, winning finals, even when they're playing bad. And obviously, it seems like you got a really good culture with the Chiefs, and so with their culture. Also, what do you bring? And so I'll be interested to hear from yourself. What do you bring into their culture? What's some of the assets that you bring in terms of the Chiefs mana culture?
Yeah, I'm just myself, and I bring energy. As you can tell, I'm probably a bit, I think I've always got time for people, or I'm always trying to bring the mood up, or Yeah, that does get me in trouble sometimes with my coach because we got a good relationship, but sometimes I'll joke around and he's like, bro, shut up, or like he'll come see me like, why did you, I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm just, and it's I think it's But I think I bring a lot of energy, positive energy, and I'm always making sure that, hey, we're here to work, but at the same time, like, let's have fun. Like, this is our job, and like, I've got to pinch myself and say, far out, I'm going to work to play rugby. Like, that's what, if it wasn't my job, I'd be playing it every Saturday because I love it. But now it's my job, and yeah, I think that's sort of what I bring off the field in terms of for the culture, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Well done. Well said. Because in terms of obviously rugby and so forth, all the other stuff that you do, if it wasn't for rugby also, if sports wasn't in the picture, because I'm curious to find out, what else do you know that you are really good at? What else? What other things do you know you excel in?
I always wanted to act. I always wanted to be an actor. Yeah. I did drama at school and performing arts. I love the stage. Like, it goes back to like my the two mindsets I have. One of them's being on stage. Like, I always wanted to be an actor. If I wasn't a rugby player, or be on TV. So, yeah, when I leave rugby, that's sort of what the path I want to jump into. I don't know about acting, but yeah, like I've got me and Kurt Eklund, who plays for the Blues. We've got a little fishing channel called Bateman and Rodden. It's a good plug there. So follow on Instagram. But we got a little fishing channel, and that's sort of my little thing outside of rugby that I want to grow. My first idea was to have a podcast on a boat, because you go fishing with someone on a boat, and like there's no one else to talk to but yourself, and you'll end up just opening up. And I always thought, man, on a boat, like that'll break down so many walls, because I've always been on boats with people, and you end up coming back and being like, holy, I know your whole life, because we've just sat there and unearthed a lot of things, and I always thought that would be cool. But yeah, that's what I wanted to be when I was younger, is be on TV. So yeah, actor. That's sort of one thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think that sort of helps my rugby as well, in terms of like my showmanship, or like this is another thing that feeds my ego, and it's just like being on TV and stuff, and but it's always something that I wanted to do.
Well, man, so I don't know. Obviously, with the rugby, kind of obviously when it's done, said and done. Also, so I don't know. Maybe there might be some opportunities in there in terms of the pipeline. And hey, the acting and so forth.
I'd love to. That's something. That's something I'd like to do. Yeah, I want to. With the fishing channel, I'd love to. Like, my dream would be coming from this to just being a fisherman, like a Matt Watson or something, and just have a fishing channel and just talk smack and fish and travel New Zealand, and but like Peter Wepu's doing at the moment. That sort of stuff. Yeah, that's something I'd love to do. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's cool. And then just going off the acting vision there, if you could cast yourself in any movie or series,
I don't know.
What would you cast yourself in, and what role?
I have no idea. Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. It would be Aragorn. Star Wars. I could do. Obi-Wan Kenobi was my favorite. I don't know. It'd be something like that. Yeah. Or like Yellowstone. You guys seen Yellowstone?
Never seen Yellowstone. I've only seen shorts on YouTube.
Yeah. Yellowstone. That's a cool show.
Who would you be on Yellowstone?
I don't know. I'd like to be Rip, but I don't think I got that Rip in. He's a
Rip's the man, bro. Rip's the man, bro.
Ain't Rip like that. I ain't got that Rip. Yeah. I have no idea, actually. Yeah. But I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah.
You wouldn't mind doing like musical stage plays, would you? Like theatre?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it. Like singing? I don't know about singing. Yeah.
Oh, you sing as well?
I'm saying I don't know about singing. Yeah. Sometimes I think I can sing, and then sometimes I'm like, mate, you're playing up. Sometimes when I was like, when with Kayla, sometimes I was singing, I'm like, was that good? She's like, I'm like, in my head it sounds on, but I'm looking at you like, no. I'm like, yeah. So I don't know, but I would, like I did. Like I said, the drama and performing arts in school, and being on stage is a rush. Like, it's a thrill. And like I did school plays and stuff, and again, that was probably a lot of things that was with like to do with my egos, being on stage, and like I see when I'm in my rugby, like my mindset about being rock stars. Like, rock stars control like 40,000 people. Their souls are connected to what you are doing, and all their eyes are on you. Like, that's like, to me, that's crazy. And that's what I have in rugby. Like I want all the eyes to be on me. Like that's just my ego part. But yeah, being on stage is like that. Like we did, I did two tangata, which is like Polyfest in Wellington. Man, it's just such a rush of like performing and having, people watching you. Yeah, it's so scary, but when you do it, it's like a drug, Yeah.
Just that adrenaline rush.
Oh, literally, yeah. And I always thought, like, when I go like listen to Wayno and he was talking, I'm like, man, I can't imagine being that, like having a whole concert just sitting there, having their eyes on you, being it, and having your people sing your songs. Far out, that'd be gangster. But yeah, I would like to do theatre. I think it'd be cool. Looks scary as well.
I think you'd be actually good at it also.
Oh, yeah. If my drama teacher is listening, maybe she could tell me. Yeah. But yeah. I enjoyed that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was cool.
Oh man, there's also I thought I'd just ask because sometimes people always focus on the sports, like you're just a sports star, and you never realize what else do you know you're actually good at, and you actually picked up on the acting.
I don't know if I'm good at it. I don't know. Sorry, don't not get me wrong. I don't know if I'm that guy. Before people come in,
he's coming for you. He's coming. Give him a role. Give him a role.
He needs a role. He needs a role. Give him a role.
I like it. Yeah. It's something I'm passionate about. I don't know if I'm that guy or anything, but yeah.
Also, obviously, going back to the rugby, if given the chance, given the opportunity also, would you play for Manu Samoa?
Yeah. I think, like I said, I'll always give myself till I was 26 to be an All Black. If that didn't happen, I'd love to. I'd love to. Yeah. If we could do dual, if you could be able to change nations, in a heartbeat, I'd play for Samoa. Just because, it's Samoa, I'd love to, literally, I think it's funny. I think they might have talked to my dad. My dad just said no. I think you're not my agent. You're supposed to pass that.
Yeah, Dad's a clever man. Your dad's a clever man.
I think just I think because one time he was talking to me. He was like, Mapuso. He was asking about you, but I just said no. And I remember just having dinner. I was like, oh, all right, thanks, agent. Like, thanks for looking after me, right? Yeah. But he's done that a few times. Yeah, people have like my rugby club. I've played for Marist and Pets in Wellington. And when I was leaving school, other clubs were approaching, but he just said no to all of them. He gave him. He was like, no. And I'm like, you kind of consult me, or but he's just like, no. So yeah. I'd love to. I'd love to. I think any Samoan would love to as well. But the dream of being an All Black, especially being a New Zealand born, that drive for me, and that's just the pinnacle. That's the best of the best. And I'd love to do both. If who knows what the world has to offer, but it would be cool. It would be cool.
Yeah. What do you think Dad said no?
Because I don't think you get paid, I don't think you get money. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I don't even say that. I don't know if I was allowed to say that. Oh, I don't know.
We're still going live?
Yeah. It's a good question. Yeah, you can have my dad on the potty. You can ask him.
That's the best.
Before I say things too political and probably get told off. Yeah. Oh,
must be part of that networking gift.
He can
approach anyone, but he also knows the ones to be like.
Yeah.
Oh man, also man. I tell you also, it's absolute privilege, man. It's just listening to you, and you're just a cool guy.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Hard out, cool guy, man. And just obviously you said it yourself. That's who you are. That's Naitoa is just who you are on the screen, on the TV. When I've seen you on the interviews. Meeting you out there with Jamin, and then having you over here and sitting down with you and having a talanoa, you're the same also. And so, also just one more question, because for me, reason, who do you think? The question is, do you think you guys are going to take out the title in 2024?
I never answer these questions. You can't answer them. You can't answer. Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah. But again, like I've always backed my ability, and I've always backed. So for me as a competitor, of course, of course it's going to be us. But that's for the universe to decide. That's just for. There's still a lot of time in the season, So I can't actually answer that for you. Yeah.
That was cool.
But there's a lot of teams doing unreal, So yeah. That's my political answers. We'll see. We'll see. I always just say that. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Marlos, well said, well said.
Yeah.
One of the other questions I had was just thinking about your dad. Like, he just sounds like such an awesome guy.
He would hope to say.
Have you ever asked your dad, like, what drives him? Like, what drove him to do what he did and to continue doing what he does?
I think I have. Yeah. Sometimes when we're drinking, or I'm drinking and he's drinking, I'll ask him things. Then my mum's always like, "Don't ask him," because he'll end up just rambling on. Like he was school ducks in school.
Your dad?
Yeah. And back in I think it might have been Wesley College. I can't remember before he went to Avili, or after. And he always remind me. So my mum's like, "Don't get him started," because blah blah blah. But I'm not sure. Like for me, I want the best for my family, and that's my drive, and I want, and for myself, I want to live happy, I think I don't think I think I've asked him, and maybe I've got an answer, but that must have stemmed from something, and maybe for him it's that too. Like I think he just wants more. Like he's not settled, and he has goals, and he just wants to smash them. Like becoming a teacher, and then becoming a lawyer, and then running for council, like trying to become a politician. Like you have to have something. There's got to be something within you to want to do these things. You don't just do it, So I think that's what drives him, is he wants more. Like he's just not settled, and he has an ambition, and he's done well. He's done well. Like I was saying with my family growing up, we had my brother had mental health problems. I don't even know. Yeah, we had mental health problems when I was going through school. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and that sort of stuff. And like, I think as a dad or as a parent, having a child go through that must be outrageous. And I think I look back to my brother's doing well for himself, and that period of time in school, that's one of the reasons why I left, because I was doing morning trainings, and would wake up at 5 and train and so on and so forth. And sometimes like the home life something would happen, it would be, an outburst or something, and I couldn't really come to training and be, attentive, or, because I was tired from something happening. And so that was one of the reasons I moved. But like, as I think about my parents, and like having that happen must be, for them to still be doing strong and still be, my dad still like now was running for council, like to still have that sort of drive and ambition, even when something like that happens, it hits our family. Like, again, it's so inspirational and so like cool, eh? Well, not cool, but in terms of, like, so you look at it and be like, wow, how are you keeping going when, your own son is going through, things. And yeah, as a parent, like you never want that for your child, and I think it's so far away in your mind because you've always seen it, and it's always so far away in your mind until it happens directly in your home. You're like, holy, this is real, and that's sort of what had happened for us. Like I was like, wow, that's sort of my journey into mental health, and like seeing that sort of stuff. I was like, holy,
damn. And you mentioned there that you want, the best from your family. And so when you think about your parents, like your mum and your dad, and you think about your kids, like what are some of the lessons, or like maybe a lesson from each of your parents that you're like, that's the thing that I want to pass on to my kids, or that I want to teach my kids? Like what would be that key learning from your mum and your dad?
Yeah, I think again, work ethic. Yeah, like I was saying, it only took me an adult to realize how difficult my parents, what my parents had gone through to become who they are now, like the immigrants that became lawyers and so I think for me it's, if I can instill that in my kids, that everything is out there for the taking. Like there's enough for everyone to get a piece of the pie. You just have to work for it. And that's the bottom line, you just have to be willing to put in the work, to get it. Because again, like my dad's an example of like, hey, it can be done. Whatever walk of life, it can be done, So I think that's probably the main thing. Yeah. Pretty stock standard answer, really. Yeah.
That's good. Good.
No, that's cool. Last question. You mentioned when after your dad had run for council that, you know, one of the first times you'd ever told your dad that you were proud of him. And I'm just curious about why is it difficult? And perhaps, I don't know if it's a son to father thing. Why is it so hard for sons to tell their dads how they feel? Because I think it's something that a lot of men struggle with. And sometimes we, similar to how you were talking about your brother, like you think those things are far away from you until it happens. And sometimes the time with our fathers is not guaranteed. Like
100%.
we don't know how much time we have with them.
Yeah.
So like, when was the last time you told your father that you loved him? And why is it so hard for sons to open up to their dads?
Yeah, I tell everyone I love them after every conversation, because again, it's like, Sean Wainu, one of my best mates, he passed away, and the last thing I said to him was I loved him. He was dropping me off to the airport, and I was going back to Wellington, and I'm so grateful that I had said that in that moment, because and I don't know where it came from, but I think someone spoke at something and said that you tell your parents you love them because you never know. And then I just was like, that's right, it's true. And I just kept happening, and then I said it to Sean, and then, you know, passed away, and there was the last scene. I'm like, I'm so grateful that I expressed that, you know. For me, I'd tell my parents I love them, or tell, you know, when I leave conversation with my mates, I'll say I love them. I think in Samoan households, the dad sits on such a pedestal. It's so hard for you to, you know, in the other, you might have a similar experience, like to have these courageous conversations, because some of them are just like staunch men and they don't talk about these things. And I think that's having that stigma of like, I can't talk to him because he's got this aura about him, or he's sitting on this pedestal. For me, that's as a parent, something I really don't want. I really want to have our courageous conversations as normal conversations. Have mental health check-ins as like, this is the dinner table. This is the dinner table. You know. And I like Kurt Eklund. The relationship he has with his dad, crazy. Like they tell each other everything, and like, but he was saying he went fishing with his dad, and like it just unearthed, because you just have time in the water and you don't have service or anything, you just end up just talking for ages. And like I look at that and go, man, that relationship between them is so awesome. And like I always say I want that with me and my dad, but then again it's like, oh, this is scary, trying to like open up and trying to be vulnerable in certain aspects, you know, because again it's like, you know, it's your dad, you know, like that, you know, do you get what I mean? Like you don't want to say that to your dad, you're like, you don't tell my dad about this and that. I think that's What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, no, obviously you're right in terms of growing up. Obviously, a lot of Samoan men are quite stoic, quite staunch.
Yeah.
And you try to, Dad, I'm going through this issue, and
hey.
Yeah. So it's already now in the back of our minds. I think, no, I can't really share this kind of stuff with Dad, because you know Dad's from a different generation, different era. Literally. So I'll just talk to Mum, or just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
But I think more so now. I think a lot of the men now, or generations now, that some of us are able to kind of try to have this conversation, like you said, courageous conversations with our sons, and hopefully vice versa with our sons with us. And so I like what you said. I like it's just kind of breaking the stigma, but also being able to have those conversations in this day and age with our kids, and being able to create a safe space for them to have these conversations also.
My dad definitely, my parents have always checked in, and they've always asked me how I'm going. Like, I think we have we have dinner all the time, and like, growing up, you can't have your phone at the dinner table, turn the TV off. Everyone comes in, everyone talks about their day. Little moments like that, but when you're at school, you're just like, hurry up, I want to go and like, you know, play the game or something. But I look back at it now, I'm like, those little moments are like huge. And it's funny, I got billeted in Christchurch, and we stayed at a house with these balangis. And I'm not saying this is, you know, but like the mum was like, the dinner's ready. I went and grabbed it, sat by the table, and all the kids sat on the in the lounge. And the mum's like, what do you guys usually do? I was like, we usually sit in the dinner table and talk. And they're like, what? like she was in shock. She's like, oh, no, kids, come in. And we sit down and she goes, now what do you do? And I was like, oh, we say grace. And then I said grace. And then she's like, oh, like, now, like, what's, and I'm like, didn't we just talk about our day? And she was like, whoa. And I remember being like, huh? What? Like, this is normal. And I just thought it was so normal because my parents built the house, the dinner being a place of like, you come in and talk about your day and everyone checks in and it's normal. And yeah, for them, it was just like, they were just so, everyone just like did themselves. And I remember being like, fuck, that's so crazy, And I talked to a lot of people and they're like, what do your parents do? And they're like, I don't even know what my parents do. I'm like,
oh, it's different, eh?
How do you not know what your parents do? But it's because my parents had the environment of like, everyone comes in, we all talk about things and all ask how your day is. And at the time, like, I was closed, because I'm just like, I'm a teenager. I don't want, I just want to go and game. But like, man, you look around and like some people don't even know what their parents do because they little things at the dinner table. They don't have times where, they'll sit down and because they're all watching TV or they're all sitting on their phones. It's like, whoa, what the heck? Yeah. So for me, like having my parents have always been, checking in on me and they always, how are you doing? Especially now that I live away. And they always make sure that I'm not getting too big for my boots in terms of like where I am in my life and how things are going. They're going good so far and they make sure to keep me grounded. But yeah, even in saying it though, it's still quite hard for me to, my dad's, how you going? Oh, good, good. So, talk about blah, blah, like, yeah. No, it's going good. Like, I don't want to like, I'm still scared to go, hey, like I'm actually this and that. But like with my mum, I'm like, yeah, mum, can you help me with this, But yeah, it's still quite hard for me to open up, even though my parents have they still give their time for me, yeah. But yeah, I still think my dad also, he probably finds it hard to ask, but I think he asks because he knows that's what you need to do. You need to ask, but I think he's also probably like, oh, fuck, do I ask? How are you going? Well, that's the way I think. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah.
I was gonna ask that in terms of like, do you think fathers are equally as scared to like have their conversation with their sons? And maybe there's times where they want to be like,
hey, I
son,
reckon. Yeah, well, what do you reckon?
Well, my son's 14 years. Yeah, and so you're right, absolutely right. A lot of the issues that he goes through or what he's going through in this day and age, he doesn't necessarily talk to me about it. Like, I take my son to sports, we love sports, we all talk about all this stuff, but it comes down to the kind of the real kind of difficult issues to talk about, and so he doesn't really talk to me or confide in me. He couldn't confide to my wife. So maybe it's just something different with the dad and son relationship that we don't kind of share that. I'd love for him to kind of share. But, but also, maybe I should. You're making me, you convicting me now. Also, like, hey son, how's it going?
Yeah.
And so maybe that's a good question.
It must be hard. I think I want to be able to have that relationship, but I think at the same time it'll probably be scary as well. Going to my son and saying, "Are you okay?" With 'cause I don't know. It just seems it's a courageous conversation and it's a scary conversation and it's an uncomfortable conversation. Probably from both sides. So
I know.
Yeah.
And I think most of it is the reason why my son doesn't confide in me because I kind of joke around about it. So he does. I think maybe there have been times when he's trying to share some stuff and like, come on, man.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Then already he's kind of shut down straight away. Like, oh no, maybe not.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely as to why he probably doesn't. Because I make a joke out of everything with him.
Yeah. I think that I have the same problem where it's like, if I'm uncomfortable in a situation, then I'll laugh. Far out, that gets me in trouble, or like someone will tell me something and I was like start smiling and I'm like honestly I'm sorry, but this is my coping mechanism is to I don't know laugh or something. But I think there'll be probably times where I'll try and make a joke out of something when it's like, mate, it's not
the wrong time.
It's the wrong time. Yeah, it happens heaps actually.
He passed away.
Yeah, but honestly, it's happened. Things I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just someone will be telling me a story and then boom, 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 and like it would be something dark and I'm like, oh my god, like what that was like, because I'm like, oh my god, that was so crazy. That was like But then there's I got in trouble for there's been times where something's quite dark and I want to lighten the mood. And I'll say something and people will be like, bro, what have I got, man?
Whatever we got.
Yeah. So, I think it's probably a balance of like if my son ever talks to me, is making sure that hey, we can joke around, but also I need to be like, I'm here to listen instead of take the piss out of you.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's awesome. I like that. That's a good conversation.
Mm.
You know, it was just so interesting. I was thinking to myself, you have the Balangi family, and you said, and you were the only one at the table.
Yeah.
So what else do you do? What else
Honestly, yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, what if they ask you, what else do you do? Oh, this is the time where we usually give $20 to each other.
Usually donate to the donate to the bullet. Yeah. I should have done that. Oh, yeah. That moment still baffles me. Yeah.
No, thank you heaps for coming out tonight, and also just sharing obviously just snippets and little glimpses of your life thus far and your journey thus far. All the best.
Thank you.
All the best for 2024. All the best to the Chiefs, and to your obviously to the lads there. But more so to you also. I wish you all the best. All the best, and you're welcome. You know where we stay now. You know where the studio is. So wherever if you're in the neighbourhood, also when you pop in also just for a nice talanoa. But otherwise, also much love and and to your boys and to your future. Also, just keep going hard and we'll keep an eye on.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
on your successes, man. So maro lava also maro lava soifua. But te lava.
Shop, bro, for coming through tonight. It's been really cool. Like obviously hearing the sports side, but I think also just hearing about like,
for sure.
You know, life as a son, as a father, and just the life lessons that you've gained. Like there's some really cool quotes that have come through. Like just thinking about making courageous conversations, dinner conversations. I thought like, bro, that's mean. And you know, I feel like for all of us, and I'm pretty sure for our audience, there'll be a nugget in there for them.
Appreciate it.
That's just for them. So just thank you so much for sharing, for being open and sharing so much of your personal life and your journey. So wish you all the best. And I can't help but think like some of these conversations, they serve as like time capsules for where we are right now. And I hope that in the future, as your kids get older, they can look back and say, like, bro, my dad was the man. Like,
I hope so. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, long time listener, first time caller. It's actually surreal. You got some big names, man. You got some big names coming here. So I appreciate you, thinking of me. And what you guys are doing is awesome. Like you're allowing a platform for people to speak their truth and viewers and listeners to gain something from it. So appreciate it.
Man,
thank you.
Also, we have a gift for you. Obviously, all the guests that come on, we always give them a caricature, a cartoon sketch of how we envision them to be. So this is on behalf of the Mandate team also.
Oh yeah. yeah.
Also, it says champagne. We think it's appropriate because we're going to continue to celebrate your successes also, and the caricature cartoon of you also. Mano love also.
Oh, yeah, how good! I got the nails too. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it,
man. Thank you so, man. Thank you so much, man. No, props to you. So thank you so much. What an awesome conversation, awesome talanoa. Thank you. But also, is there anyone do you think that would be ideal to come on the podcast? You think, man, this person would be perfect.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I always actually I hear these things when you say that, and people are like, I don't know. And then I was thinking, man, I reckon I'll have someone, and I'm here. I'm like, well, and I'm like, maybe another. I think maybe like an All Black would be cool in terms of where they've been, because it's a lot. The stresses and the pressure is a lot higher. Something like that. Yeah, Angus Ta'avo, maybe he's a good guy. He's got a story at the heart. He's got a great story, but also he's a character as well. So. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, one of those guys maybe.
Awesome. No, I heard him up. Yeah, Angus. Wow, yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Bless you, man. But we always give the guest the last words of encouragement. Also, any last words of encouragement, inspiration for our men out there?
It's probably already covered, eh? Yeah. Have fun. Life's short. I think, if you don't take the time to be in the moment, you're probably gonna look back and go, where did it go, really? So have fun, be in the moment, and God bless. I'm not even religious. And I said God bless.
God bless. Please don't forget to subscribe. We will look forward to your well-thought out comments. And as usual, Uzo,
refine,
unlock,
and take charge.
That day.
That was sent to me, life was hectically getting me home.